And now, without further ado, I have the distinguished honor and privilege of presenting to you the Queen of Color, the Mother of Artists, globally acclaimed, award-winning master acrylic artist, and the star of our show, Ginger Cook, as she once again mesmerizes her audience with the daring do's and don'ts of painting with acrylics. Ginger?
Are we on?
I have a little bit of static on you again.
Oh, I don't even want to hear it, John. I don't care. Just move on to past the static. You can't have static. We can't have static. I'll tell you what, you guys. I want to welcome everybody to our live YouTube show. We like to do the live ones. We could do pre-recorded, and we will do a few. You know, throughout the year, we'll throw up a few pre-recorded for those of you guys who just want straight lessons and no chit-chat. So we'll do that occasionally. But we love our live shows because what happens is when we get a live audience, they ask us questions, they interact with each other. It builds a community of artists from around the world, and we get to know everybody, and it's really a lot of fun. And then plus, a lot of our Facebook members, we have this really cool acrylic Facebook club, and we get a lot of interaction from those members, and they get this, you know, they're going, oh, there's so-and-so, they're on too, and then they're talking, there's Mona, there's Elizabeth, there's Tanya, you know, there's these different ones, and you get to know these guys, and it's like coming together for a big party, except that we're all thousands of miles away from each other. Isn't that cool?
It's
amazing.
You
could think about you know, I had someone write me the other day and say that she felt like, you know, this particular woman lived by herself, and she felt like when John and I, you know, did one of these live shows, it's like we were sitting right next to her in the living room chatting. And I feel like that's what we're doing too. I like to imagine you guys just all hanging out in this room, and we're all talking. And even though there's a camera and, you know, miles of miles and miles of airspace between us, it can be like that. And one of the ways that we can answer your questions is when you're doing a live show is if when you do the chat, put your questions in capital letters. Now, sometimes we get quite a few people on, and our moderators who volunteer, by the way, and don't always see your questions, that's okay. If you have a burning question, and you feel like I haven't answered it and no one saw it, when no one's trying to ignore you on purpose, just write us at gingercooklive.gallery. Use the contact us. Say, next live show, would you please answer my question? We'll do it. You know, if we can answer it, we'll do it live on the air. Absolutely. If we can do it, we'd love to. So that being said.
Hey, why is that behind you?
Oh, you guys, check this out. Can I move out of the way a little bit?
Yeah, slide out of the way a little bit.
Slide over. This is a blanket that we ordered online from, I don't know, who did we get it from, John?
Print Picks, I think.
Print Picks, and it's a bunch of our ocean paintings. Look at that. It's a real soft blanket, and here's some of our Wave and Water Masterclass paintings on this giant. It was a 60 by something 50 blanket.
60 by, yeah, I think it's like a
60
96,
by 50.
No, it's 96 by 60.
96 by 50. Isn't that just absolutely amazing? And we got another one that just has our books and things on it. And we just thought this was so pretty, make a nice backdrop, and it was a wonderful way to kind of display some artwork. So if you're wondering what that is, that was our neat find. I found it actually on
Groupon.
Groupon had a Groupon thing, so it was like half price. So this is why we bought it. Thought, what a deal, right?
And we wanted to see the quality. Check out the company.
We wanted to see the quality, see if it was any good.
So we can recommend it.
It's really a soft blanket. We sent a very, very high resolution picture of our work, and wow, they came out really, really well. The detail in it is amazing. So that's what's behind us, in case anybody wants to know. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so now. One of the reasons
we'll wait.
One of the reasons we like it, we've discovered that of all the things you watch on YouTube, about 50% of the people subscribe, the other half don't. What you do for us, it's like voting for us. When you subscribe, you're like you're saying, yes, YouTube, we like these people, please show more of their videos to others. That's a big help. So it's not just a prestige thing. Well, somebody has so many thousand videos, somebody else has 100,000, somebody has 200,000. What it does is it lets YouTube know whose videos to show. You know, when someone's just kind of surfing the internet and looking for things, what shows up really helps us. So
And then the other thing you want to do is add us to your playlist.
Yeah, add any video you like to your playlist.
To your
Make
own
your own
personal playlist.
And speaking of playlists, we've been doing something really new for personal art coaching. We have an art academy online, and one of the features in it is art coaching. And we discovered that we can video the art coaching that I do and put it up on a private video, and then the person gets an email saying that Ginger's put a private video up for you, and you can not only watch the video, but you can add that to your playlist too.
So you always have access to it.
You always have access to it. We're not doing that all the time, but when something really requires it, sometimes I don't have enough time to type out thousands of words, and I can, in a few minutes, I can really explain, or maybe I just can't figure out how to explain it without just saying a bunch of stuff. So anyway.
So, are you saying you have the gift of gab?
Sometimes I just need to do that, John. Absolutely, just need to do that. So anyway, we've had some tremendous response. People really like it. So that comes up to this thing. We have personal art coaching. We generally tell people that they can, we've said in the past when we first started out, you could do 3 a week, all right? But what's happened is we're getting overwhelmed with this. We would appreciate it if you would limit your videos art coaching requests to 1 a week. You can keep sending that one back and forth to me as many times, 6 times in a week if we need to keep working on it. That's okay. But I'd really like to do 1 at a time, get something cleared, because what's happening is I want to spend more time with you on each video, and if you send me a whole pile of them, then I don't feel like I can give you the time you deserve either. So that's what we would appreciate everyone doing.
Well, the other thing is, we're getting very close to capacity, and what we'd like you guys to do is kind of self-police yourself. There's a lot of people that want this service, but we don't want Ginger doing more than 3.5 hours a day on this critiques. And right now, she's spending close to 5 and 6 hours trying to keep up with all this double team working and all these lessons
and
coming
all
in.
These videos that keep coming. And people say, well, it's another week. I can send 3 more in. And then I'm going to send in the 3 that you corrected. So now I've got 6 of somebody's, and it just becomes kind of overwhelming. And also, we want to keep painting and making new videos for you guys. And again, we're getting, in our art academy, we are getting very close to for our members. Here's the thing. When you're a member of our art academy, you get grandfathered in, not just on the price, but on guaranteed personal art coaching. Okay? As long as you don't drop your membership, you've got it. But new people coming in, we're getting to the point where we'll have to put them on a waiting list and wait for someone else to drop out to get the personal art coaching. Okay? So we haven't done that yet, but we're really close to that. We
are evaluating it. More than likely, it will happen this year.
Yeah, this happened this year. So, so it's good to get, if you get your membership in, we'll guarantee it. But on the other hand, we want to make sure that everybody gets the most quality out of it. So that being said, today we're going to be painting this.
Oh, sorry, I went down to the floor.
You went down to the floor. Sorry. Today we're painting these fun kids, walking home from maybe a friend's house or from school, whatever. I don't see any backpacks, so I'd like to think they were just over hanging out at someone's house. They're off for an adventure. And I think when you paint, here's a secret for you guys that are painting paintings that you want to sell on the internet. If you paint the face of a child, then it becomes somebody's kid. If you paint just them from behind, it could be anybody's kid. And you're much more likely, for those of you who are looking to sell your art, making a little extra cash on the side, you're certainly welcome to paint this and sell it. I have no problem with that. You want to, it's kind of nice if you have a couple of kids at the beach in the sand, as long as you see the back of them, it's anybody's blonde kid kind of thing, or dark-haired kid. So that's a little secret there. It's nice to be able to paint portraits, but basically people are pretty vain. They just want portraits of themselves, okay? So what we want to, I told people to start out, you could either start out with a light or dark blue background. It really doesn't matter. You could pick one, dark or light blue. I think I'll just start with the dark blue because I want to be able to just transfer this on here, but just some sort of blue background. Either one would have worked. We're using our Sorel's transfer paper again. First thing I want to do is just tape this down. We've had a fun week. I tell you what, this has been a really interesting week, and it came up the other day. Somebody had, one of the things I love about our Facebook club, okay, which is really growing, by the way. We're getting close to capacity on that.
Yeah, we have less than 800 to go there, then that will be closed.
One of the things I really, really like about that is that people come up with the most interesting things. And, I do not have the answers to all things art. It's hard to believe, but I don't, but I know a lot of stuff, but I don't know all the stuff. But boy, you get that many people together and someone asks a question and interesting stuff shows up. I mean, really interesting. We all learn a thing too. One of the things that John and I learned was some lady had a painting she'd done of an ocean and some water and a sky, and she was trying to figure out how to put a sailboat in there and wanted to, had a question about that. And someone wrote and said that the distance between, for a grown-up, the distance between the shore and the horizon line on an ocean, if you were standing on the beach, was 3 miles. And we're going, huh. So how did they figure that out? And then what did you find out, John? Because that was so
needless
interesting.
to say, being a sock folder and all, I had to Google that and find out what the math was behind that.
Oh, tell them the math. This is so great. But you guys in Europe are going to love this.
You take your height in meters, multiply it by 13, then take the square root of that, and that will give you kilometers, and then you can convert that back to miles. And for me, it was like, my height is like 5'11", and it was like 2.8 some odd miles, like 2.85 miles. And a little kid is like 3.5 miles for them.
But basically, but I think the average, if you're 3 miles, I think that's a fairly that was an interesting thing. And of course, you know that the farther things are away from you, the smaller they get. That's kind of a rule. And so if you're standing on the beach, and remember, her horizon line is eye level. Okay, that's one of the things. Okay, so what you've seen me do here while we're chatting about that, wasn't that interesting? Was that you got this Sorel transfer paper, and I like this. So we have an affiliate link for this. We buy it on Amazon because it's just, I buy everything on Amazon, just because it's easy and I don't have to leave the house. Anyway, it's got 5 different colors, which is very handy when you're tracing things on. It's got blue, red, yellow, gray, and white. Chances are one of those colors is going to work. If you didn't have transfer paper, you can take a soft chalk and just smear the back of a piece of paper behind the image. Do that a couple times, kind of smudge it in, and that will work as, sort of do-it-yourself transfer paper. So you don't have to have it, but transfer paper is less messy. It's nice to have, and you can use it over and over and over again, okay? So we've kind of taped this down. One of the things, you don't want it all moving on you. Does it make sense? So you don't want your drawing moving, but you do want to make sure that you've got the correct side down. See how I've got this little white mark here? So we're just going to make this really easy. And this image is available on our website under what, John? Because people always get confused. Where do we have it?
It's under the YouTube listings, and it's called Friends. You can do a Google on Friends eventually. That'll get indexed in there. And it's under the different tabs. We have 3 tabs. One's the intro, one will be the lesson once it's done, and then the 3rd tab is the resource tab, which is called Traceables and Resources.
Don't I have some colored pens? I thought we bought me some colored pens.
Yes, we did. I think I can see them from here.
Can you? Oh,
Probably
I see them. Look at there. I see them. Look.
You got them?
I tell you what. Oh gosh, hope I didn't knock them out. I wanted some colored pens. Here's why. Because I wanted to see where I'd been. Dark green isn't, I think that then, the nice thing about something like this is someone says, oh, that's so nice, would you make me one? Then when you transfer it again, you can use a different colored pen, so you won't get confused about where you've been. Okay?
It's come up. What about our drawings lessons this afternoon?
Oh, yeah, we're going to do a drawing lesson. Let me get this on. We're going to definitely do a drawing lesson today. We're going to do a giveaway tonight, this afternoon. And also, remember, this is the last day, I think it's at midnight, to win
PM.
this one. What?
11 p.m.
11 p.m. Central Time is the last day to enter to win this. 1 entry per person. So how do they find the entry for this one, John?
They have to go find the lesson. What lesson? What day did we do that? That was the 12th?
I don't remember.
It was the 12th. I think it was on the 12th lesson. If you go to that lesson on YouTube and play through towards the end, you'll be able to find it.
So maybe after the show, you might want to do that. Now tonight we'll put up the bit about where to get this. Okay.
Nope, Wendy's already got it out there once for him.
Oh, thanks, Wendy. Gosh, Wendy's just a champ here. We really appreciate Wendy. And all of that is volunteer, by the way. So anyway, yeah. So one of the things that we talk about this with drawing kids, really, particularly kids, people will, they may not care about an old man on a bench, though it might be an interesting painting unless it looks like their grandfather or something, right? But everybody likes pictures of their grandkids. They like pictures of kids, particularly if you can keep them generic enough. where somebody might find that helpful. Okay, so that's what I would tell you, is that if you're going to be doing that, look for photographs of if you're your own kids, look for photographs of them from behind. It'll also be easier for you to paint, by the way. A little bit easier for you to paint when you're first starting out. It's a good thing to do. So that was something that we found out, which we thought was very helpful, wasn't it, John? That
Yes.
one about the mileage.
I loved it.
We
I love little
loved
things like that.
Now, here's the other thing too, is that and it's hard to remember, but this old thing about the farther things are away, the grayer they become and the less important. But also keep in mind that every painting has a subject, center of interest, things that, the main character of the story you're talking about, okay? Everybody has that. So what you want to do as artists is to not add detail to everything, but to, for instance, if you were doing, like, for instance, our Mediterranean scene, the one we did, I don't know if we'll show you that a little bit later, the Mediterranean, which is our Wave and Water for this month. For instance, there's a city kind of in the background that you want very little in the way of detail on, because I'm just going to draw in a couple of these trees here. You want, because the main subject is the tables and chairs. So you want to, one of the things you can do, kind of a good trick, is to just paint it in and then take some mixing white or zinc white and kind of fuzz it all out. That's something to think about too. Okay, I think I've got pretty much everything drawn in here. Do I have these shoes in here like that? And I got these shoes where we're drawing like this. And again, the thing that I'm seeing all the time, keep coming back. I don't know how many times we can do ovals, but more people have trouble with ovals. If you're just looking for something to doodle during the day when you're on the phone, practice ovals. Practice drawing coffee cups. Really, if you drink teacups, coffee cups, practice drawing cups. This is the thing that seems to befuddle people. I don't know what it is about ovals. I kind of sometimes we get this sort of an oval like this, not like that, but like this kind of, and what that would be a good thing to practice. Okay, let me lift this up and see how I did. Pretty good, huh? Didn't that transfer nicely on? Isn't that a great way to do that? Don't you think so? That's a great thing to do.
Now, is that considered cheating?
No, and really, it's absolutely not, because I could trace a lot of things and draw a lot of things on for people, and then after that, then what are you going to do? You still have to paint it. You don't think it's cheating to use your stove instead of a campfire, do you? Well, you're still, it could get to be a gourmet cook if you use a cookbook, right? Still counts, doesn't it? If you follow cookbook directions, and if you if you use Hamburger Helper, does it make it a bad meal because you use that? No, and you've got to give yourself a break. Here, John's just going to take that away. It just makes him crazy. He can't stand me folding that up. It's gone. He's gone.
What are you doing to it?
Just stop, right? What did I do with this? All right. Huh, all right, well, there goes our pens. That was nice, right? Incidentally, tomorrow night, one of the things we're going to be painting is just one thing.
Afternoon.
Tomorrow night it's actually tomorrow afternoon, 2:30. We had a gal from California write us, really lovely letter, and say she has a little shop near her that was willing to take some of her artwork. She'd like to raise some money for more art supplies. And she thought in California she could sell some lemons. And so this was for you, darling. This was what I came up with. This is, we're going to do this tomorrow night, YouTube. We're going to do 3 lemons and some, the little flowers. Some
3
leaves.
lemons on a tree.
3 lemons on a tree. So if somebody wants to know what the background is on that, it's pretty dark, okay? It's some sort of dark green background, pretty much,
dark.
Okay? Pretty dark, 8 by 10. So that's tomorrow night. Thought you'd like that. And tomorrow afternoon, sorry. We're not doing tomorrow night. We're doing tomorrow afternoon. All right, so this is what we have so far.
That would be 2:30 Central Time tomorrow is our live show.
Yeah, so let's put some colors out. Now, here's the thing. If you're sitting there saying, gosh, I wish I had some different colors, the snow's pretty neutral. The snow's actually almost of neutral. So you can certainly change it. Just make sure what you want to watch for is your values. For instance, if you want to make this a dark, you know, a green coat instead of a blue one, you certainly could, and put a different color hat on. You can make this your own. Just make sure that you have enough variation in the contrast so that the person shows up. I really like the little girl in the red. I thought that was very cute, but you know, someone else might want pink. You know, it doesn't have to be these colors. This is where your imagination. Someone else may just have a dog following. Okay, we can't put everything in, but I think a dog following along behind would be real fun. You know.
We'd like to thank Miss Brooke for the donation.
Oh, Miss Brooke, thank you so much. We really appreciate that very much. In fact, the last donations we got, you guys, we were able to put in a whole new art supply order into Jerry's. So we thank you very much.
During their sale, which we appreciate.
Yeah, when they had their sale. So we appreciate that very much. And then also we scholarshiped someone on one before that too. So that was nice.
And we'd like to thank Tanya for making a donation through the PayPal system, which profits us a little bit better.
Thank you, Tanya. Incidentally, Tanya, I think is that our Tanya?
Nope, that'd be a different Tanya.
Different Tanya. Okay, so thank you. Not that you aren't our Tanya too, but we have a Tanya that we know. So I didn't want to make any remarks about ovals to you because it's really the other Tanya we're talking to when we have these little conversations about drawing coffee cups.
If the Tanya that made the donation, could you put your fingers in your ear while we talk to the other Tanya for a moment?
And
we'll wave.
Listen, you. Come on, right? I know you can do it, okay? So here's a little phthalo blue, little ultramarine blue. This is some fun kind of things came up. What else came up that's interesting this week? There's ultramarine blue. Now, let's talk about that for a minute because I like.
Oh, somebody asked, what color blue do you use for your background?
Well, just any old dark blue is fine. Because we're going to paint over it. You know, I just had some sort of ultramarine blue, but I could have used a light one too. I did the dark one because it would show up the transfer, but you could have done a light blue too. Really doesn't matter. Some sort of blue background. Probably yellow wouldn't be good, but any blue is fine. So the difference between if you're buying Liquitex, it's ultramarine blue, red shade. But here's the deal: ultramarine blue and yellow make like army green, and phthalo blue, PHTH, AL, and yellow make bright spring greens. They make this color green, okay? This bright green. Now, think about Pacific Ocean and Hawaii, okay? And phthalo green starts with a P. And think about the Marine Corps, camouflaging tanks, ultramarine blue. Think about the Marine Corps and also the Atlantic Ocean. So ultramarine blue is the color of sailors' pants. It's more of this color, like this. Color of, maybe the Navy, sailor pants, and you're going to get your camouflage greens, okay? So that's if you're mixing colors, and, the only time I really recommend buying phthalo green at all would be for if you're doing a lot of ocean pieces. Other than that, mixing your greens is very helpful. You have so much more control over those. And one of the things we recommend if you're new to our art academy is to do the Monet picture of the poppies with the little house, because there's like probably 50 different greens in that little tiny picture. Okay, so we talked about doing a drawing lesson. And again, I've just, this is for Tanya, okay?
Now, before we go too far, I need to say, Ginger, you look marvelous tonight. The hair looks fantastic.
Thank you.
You look bright and cheery.
I am feeling cheery.
Ginger is pretty. Okay, this is enough of this, people.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Never enough. Thank you so much. We love it. Thank you. Okay, so all right, we'll do one thing for you, then we'll do it for somebody else. Okay, so here's a coffee cup. Okay.
Oh, great. You're over there.
We're over here. Well,
okay. No. Okay. Don't you move it.
All right, there's a coffee cup. Now, what are you going to do about the top, right? So just give yourself a slight curve like that, and then put a little dot there, put a few dots, and then do something like that, right? That's pretty good. Here's a little cup like that. There's your candle like this, coming in here like that. There's your candle, okay? And, here's your dark side of the cup like that, okay? And then just sort of soften it up. So what you don't want, okay, come on, you guys, what you don't want is this. Let's see, I don't think I can even do it, but okay, I'm going to try to do it. You don't want this sort of squared end thing like this, right? Well, even, I can't do it. Really, I really can't do it wrong.
So you could probably suggest somebody that we know to do this for us, don't you?
Yeah, so look, here's an oval. That could be, depending on the angle you're looking it down on, it could be this wide. If it's like this, then you're going to see the inside of it like this, okay? So depending on, if you're looking straight at it, if you get a photograph and copy it, right? If you're looking straight at it, then maybe you won't even see, you'll hardly see the top of it. Maybe you won't see it because you're kind of looking like this, and maybe you're down below, so you're not even going to see the top of it, see? So but practicing ovals, is important. All right, I just have to say that. Okay,
so you can't spend enough time practicing ovals.
No, you really can't, because that seems to be something that people really have trouble with. All right, so if I wanted to draw one of my little paint tubes, right, like this, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out like this, because what have I noticed? I noticed that this is tapered in. So the first thing I do was maybe taper in 2 lines like this. You see that?
I'd like to thank Carolyn for the donation.
Oh, thank you very much, Carol. It's really nice. We appreciate it. There you go. Now, I'm going to say that, now look, see this is curved a bit here? So I'm going to curve this edge like this, and maybe this part here, okay? And then I'm going to come up here, and I've got the top, and I'm going to curve it like this, okay? And I should do one that's not squished. This is sort of squished, so this is really a bad example of a paint tube. Maybe I've got one I haven't squished yet. Yeah, here, I haven't squished this one yet. Okay, so I haven't squished this one. Okay, so in order for this one to look, one of the ways you can make something look round, okay, is by, if you curve some of the lines like this, that will help. See the curve here? And then like this. Now, you might have one side that's darker, that's in the shadows, okay? Like that. Might have one side that's in shadow, and that's going to make it look round too. But the trick is, it's not just straight across. You see how I'm curving it? See if I can do something like, let's see, where's some gold? I love all my colored chalk. I just want to play with the chalk. I don't care about the rest of this. All right, so like, for instance, I'm curving this round here. Thank you, Sharon, for the chalk. Sharon, we sent you a really nice email the other day. Please look for it. Okay.
And Sharon, you know who you are.
Sharon Poofies. Puffs. All right, now, all right, so then here's this thing like that, right? But how you're going to make this look like a round tube is you're going to have to shade it, not just have it flat. Otherwise, it's not going to look three-dimensional, all right? But you notice the cap's round, this is round, these things are round, and then it's kind of flayed back like this. Now, someone will say, I don't know if you guys can see this shirt, I've got paint brushes and paint tubes on it. And one of the things I did, which I thought was extremely clever, you can see this, I actually taped around a paint tube on the shirt to get that really nice straight line. By the way,
don't be afraid to use tape. That's not cheating either.
No, tape isn't cheating either. Sorry. So that's how you might draw some. Just sort of try drawing some ordinary objects. Try just drawing something ordinary. But think about that your brush direction will make something look curved. The same thing with wine bottles or anything. That makes a difference. Okay, so that's our real fast drawing lesson for today. I'm probably going to talk about ovals for the next 100 years, I think. Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so we've needed burnt umber. Let's see, did I have some somewhere around here?
I couldn't find it earlier.
You did or you didn't?
I did not. The name of the chalks, we got those as a gift from Sharon, and she got them at Michael's. It's just their cheapy little set of multiple colors. It's great for how Ginger uses them.
Yeah, well, look how pretty they were. Look at this, not pretty. I mean, just
a full set of them.
Well, let's put the yellow back here. See, well, this doesn't go here. This is what happened. There, this goes like this.
Yeah, I straightened them out the other day. You had them all screwy up.
Did I? All right, but they're very pretty, aren't they? I mean, just the artist in this is going, ooh, pretty. Okay. Well, when you're talking about pastels, if you're talking about like portrait pastels, which those are not, you're talking hundreds of dollars. It's just extraordinary what people can get for chalk these days. So I don't have. Now let's just talk about this for a minute. I do not have burnt umber.
So what would you do if you've run out of burnt umber?
Well, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make something that'll work for it, okay? You guys trust me on this?
Yeah, I'd like to see you do that.
Because I can't find my burnt umber, and I guess we have some in storage. Somebody could actually walk to the closet and get some burnt umber, but God forbid I would ask anybody to do that. So I'm going to take some Dazzling Purple and some Cad Red, let's see, Cad Red Medium, Dazzling Purple.
Wait. You went in both reds.
Yeah, I know, but I lied. I really just wanted Cad Red Medium. and Dazzling purple is really what I wanted, and maybe a little ultramarine blue. There, now I've got a brown. See that?
Oh, that's
Look at
cool.
that. Isn't that neat? I've got a brown. So now I'm going to come up here like
Wait,
this.
wait.
And if I wanted a little bit darker, I'll put a little more ultramarine blue with it. There we go. Here's my dark brown. And I'll just paint those trees in like this.
Oh, man.
Like that. Now, are you over here with me?
Yes, I am.
I'm using a ruby satin silver angle brush. Okay. And I'm just going to, I want you, if people think you have to have all the colors, it's nice to have all the colors, but you can fudge a lot. You really have to have white. You're sort of dead in the water without white. And here's to my old boss, Jeff, where I used to paint the painting parties. He'd say, make it work.
Yeah,
really,
you run out of white. You go, just use something else.
Don't even talk to me about making it work. You're so grumpy, Ginger. You think so? You think so? What's your first clue? Think I'm grumpy? Now, I'm going to add a little bit of yellow oxide to this, like that. A little bit over here on the side. See that? I'm going to warm this brown up and add some highlights. And it's still wet, so it's mixing with the other paints.
I think I missed something. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Becky said that was directed at you, dude. It must have been you were yelling at me again.
Who?
Probably.
What is the magic word for you?
Oh, I have been well trained this past
week.
Yes,
we've come up with some new phrases that we want to hear often. Don't you like that? I think it starts with whisper, doesn't it?
Your whisper is my command, my queen.
Do you love that? Don't you think that's fitting? Say it again. I want to hear it. I just love hearing this. Say it again. Ha!
Your whisper is my command, my queen.
Well, there you go. See? So I'm going to... Yes. I love it. Okay. So I just sort of lighten those up there. They can be... We'll lighten them up one more time, but you've got to lighten the dark to those, okay?
Luann would like to know, is there such a thing as paint recipes for basic color mixing?
Sure. Absolutely. In fact, there's books you can buy.
She just gave you one.
I just gave you one. There's books you can buy on it, for sure.
But write that one down, because I certainly couldn't remember that combination.
Yeah, but that's a good one, isn't it?
That is a great one.
Purple and ultramarine blue and a little cad red medium. I think it's kind of a nice brown. I mean, you need a reddish brown color. It's not bad. Could have used black too, black and red. And
if you had a tube of black, which
we're not using, but we're not using. All right, so now I'm going to take. Let's see, I didn't put any white out. I started that. See the little hands going tweak, tweak, tweak. Here we go.
Oh yeah. That's the Italian in you.
So we're gonna put some white out. And I like to put a log out. There you go. There you go. Big, nice, big log of white, because we're going to use quite a bit of it. Okay?
Oh, that's no.
And,
I'd like to say, notice that the reference photo I put in there for you guys, it's warmer. I intentionally did that because when I was in Michigan at the sunset, the snow would get that warm cast on it. I personally like that. So she's going to show you the cool, and you have the other one as a reference for warm.
Well, I didn't see the reference. Maybe I'd like the reference for warm. I didn't live in Michigan. I lived in Aspen. Colorado, back before, Cinnamon was born in Aspen.
They didn't have sunsets in there?
Yeah, probably. But in the mountains, you didn't really see them. We were way in the mountains. Okay, so I got a little yellow. That's a little bit of phthalo blue, a little bit of white, tiny bit of cad red medium. There you go. I want to gray this up a bit. Here we go. Let's just get some colors. A little bit of cad red medium will gray this blue up a bit. Okay, a little bit more. Too much there. Pretty good. Okay, so I've got this sort of gray blue, and I'm just going to kind of sneak in between my trees here and just put this first layer of color in, like that.
I disappeared for a second. I'm checking the PayPal donations.
Hey, thank you very much, you guys, for what you're doing. We really appreciate it. John and I really do. Okay, this is my first layer of color, kind of in between my trees, like that. And it's nice because if you're going over something dark, you don't have to do it so completely. And you'll notice I'm using the knife edge of my brush to, get a nice fine edge there between the trees. Now I'm going to add a little ultramarine blue, barely touch this, and just even a little bit on my brush. Barely touch it and go over it. The thing is, everything's layered. So if you have one color, like if you're doing like a vase or something, don't just paint your background blue. I'm teaching art lessons to somebody. She's been taking lessons from me for a long time, and honestly, she showed up at her house the other day, and she was painting this vase, and she saw the picture somewhere on the internet, so she liked it. And I didn't hate the vase, but what I really hated was the fact that the whole background was just painted blue. And she said, well, it kind of looked like that in the picture, but you guys know that backgrounds are much better. Now see the X's we're doing here, changing the brush strokes, are much more interesting if you
looks like another donation came in from Carolyn.
Well, thank you.
And now the
thank
other
you, Carolyn.
ones from PayPal, Joanne,
Ooh.
Elizabeth, Carmen,
Ooh.
and Clarine did a monthly plan. You can make a monthly contribution that's taken out automatically, which is very convenient, and we really appreciate that. It's just a little bit coming in each month. It definitely helps us cover these costs. With Ginger doing, upwards of 40 paintings a month, they add up.
Yeah, well, and also we appreciate it too, and it also allows us to scholarship few people that come in and that really, really need the help too.
And we
try to do that. We try to do that, and we're not. We understand that we can't be all things to all people, but we understand that what we do here. I am so a believer in that. Painting is a skill, not a talent. Talent is the person that thought to put the cat in the little Tuscan door, right? Came up with the idea of the cat. Good idea. You guys all have good ideas. I think everybody's got some sort of good idea of creative talent. But the actual art of painting is a skill. And sometimes if you're not sure about something, and not everybody can teach every person everything. For instance, when I was trying to figure out how to get on Medicare and pick a Medicare plan a few years ago. One of the things that came up was that, they had it was like trying to eat it at a Chinese restaurant where you couldn't read the menu. Okay. And I mean, I'm thinking, man, I don't have 16,000 hours to figure this out. So I got up on YouTube and I started to, type in a search engine what I wanted to learn. Okay. And, I'll keep adding more ultramarine blue to this as we go further down. Okay. And the white, kind of more of this blue color. And anyway, so I went through about 8 different videos by different people that were explaining Medicare. And I appreciated everybody, but there's finally one guy I got. Whatever he said, I understood it. Now, not that the other people weren't perfectly understandable to someone else, but I didn't understand what they were saying. So I understand that everybody gets it. But what we try to do is, you don't understand something, and I have a lot of people that don't get something. I'll try to break it down and explain it in a different way because I understand. I know that, for instance, you all can get this. I don't put up stuff that I don't think you all can get. And if I'm going too fast or if I'm not explaining it well, I'll try to explain it again, and I'll go back in another video and explain it, which is why I'm constantly repeating things because.
And you can also slow down the YouTube lessons. You can. After the recording, you can play at half speed, quarter speed. You can bring it way down.
How do they do that, John?
It's under the little gear on the lower right-hand side. It gives you all kinds of options over there. I think the Tech Bear might even have a tip on that one.
Okay,
that crazy bear.
Really? Okay, well, that's interesting. Don't you think that's interesting?
I do.
And then somebody else wrote, and this is the other thing that's come up, is that they were on our website and they were watching a video and it just stopped on them. They said, well, stop, so I finished the painting without the video. Well, a couple of reasons why your video can stop, okay? And what would those be, John?
Well, there's several things we have discovered. Some people are watching on their tablets, and as the video is playing, it spools ahead. And if you don't have enough free space, it will stop.
So what does that mean by free space, John?
It just stops.
What do you mean free space?
Free space in your storage on your device.
Well, I ran into this when I was downloading audiobooks on one tablet. It just wouldn't let me download anymore.
It didn't tell you anything, did it?
No, it just said I ran out of room, and which ones do you want to limit? I'm going, none. We didn't even go.
You can't take anything away from me.
What do I do? What do I do, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's one way. And then your internet speed fluctuates throughout the day, depending upon what kind of service you have, the weather, the conditions. I mean, there is a lot of variables. And the other thing we discovered is the browser cache.
What does that mean? You're using words I don't understand anymore.
Well, if you stifle for a half a second over there, Mike.
What happened to the whisper part? I like the whisper part. Just start again. Start again, dear. Start again. I'm listening.
I have to think how I want to say it to you. My whisper is my command to you, my queen.
No, this is not the script. You're going off script. We won't have it. I ask that because people don't understand what the word cash means.
I know,
So
but I was getting into it. It's the same thing when you start painting something, and I don't let you finish it because it drives me nuts. You do the same thing to me. I think that's fair.
Yeah, incidentally, before he explains the word cash, I want you to know that we've changed brush directions. We're now going this direction. See here? Because we're saying that the ground is flat. We went up, we're saying that's a hill, and this is flat, so we changed brush directions. All right, everybody up with that? Okay.
Very important.
Continue on. What does cache mean?
Okay, cache is the memory that your browser stores to make things run faster. And if sometimes that gets full or gets corrupted or gets screwy, your videos will stop. So you have to go into your settings of your browser and say clear the cache.
And this is on a computer?
This is on a computer.
So, for instance, and then how do you do that and not erase all your passwords and stuff?
You have choices. In the settings, I guess we'll have to do a tech bear on this, but there's settings in there that would say you want to get rid of all your history, some of your history. You know, you can get very specific now what you want to clear.
Okay, but one should do this once in a while, kind of like cleaning out the cupboard, spring cleaning. Should you do that a couple times a year, just on
absolutely.
GP, clean your cache?
Yep. Yeah, you should.
Well, that's good to know. Maybe this is cache cleaning day for everybody. You know, when we hang up, everybody goes and learns how to clean their cache.
Everybody goes clears the cache.
Don't erase your passwords. I hope you've written them down somewhere. Did you know, for instance, if you lose your password to YouTube, not YouTube, it was Facebook.
Oh, that's just so screwy.
This is really dumb. I mean, we'll just throw them under the bus, right? You use their password. I mean, you really lost it.
They send you you can do the password recovery, and they will show you 3 people that are in your friends list. And you will contact those 3 people, and they will verify who you are and do something through a link. But if you can imagine, some people have literally thousands of friends that really aren't friends, but you have to know who they are. And be able to get in contact with them.
Is that dumb or what? I mean, that's really just dumb. All right, so here, that's a good example of why you want to write things down somewhere. See, I'm putting a little just pure white now, not mixing white. Just this is still wet, and I'm creating just a little bit of cross action here like this on the bottom of the snow. See how I just sort of did that kind of whoop-de-whoop like this, like that word whoop-de-whoop. All right, so now you can see my outline of my people. They're kind of in the snow. This really wasn't very hard to paint, was it? I mean, really, when you're looking at this? I knew you wouldn't think so. And somebody else sent a picture in of, we've got one of a bench and the Eiffel Tower and stuff. It's not just blue. You've got to put the next layer on top of the snow. You can't just paint it one color, you guys. Everything in acrylics is layered. So just my suggestion to that gal who did that, and she posted it on our Facebook page. She didn't ask for comments on Facebook, so I'm not making it. I'm just going to make it here. Because I saw it, and I said, and I guess her husband had said, well, it looks like water to me, right? Because he was, nobody likes the peanut gallery commenting on your picture. But basically, you can see how we're doing the snow here. That's what you want to do with that, okay? If you want to say it's a hill, it's, it depends on how you're painting it. All right, now I want to lighten up these trees a bit, so let's take a little bit of Cad Red Medium and a little bit of yellow and make sort of like an orange color, okay? And I'll take just a drop of purple with that, just hardly any, and add that to that little bit of purple, not much, okay?
Just gray it down a touch.
Just gray it down. Now I'm going to wipe the brush off. See that? You see I pinch the brush off, and this is dry brush on here like this, and just now, almost like chalk.
Has that dried back there?
Yeah, it's dry, and I'm just barely touching it now, and just letting the texture of the canvas kind of grab it, and there's I wiped all the paint off the brush, and I'm still able to do that. You see this? And that's true because you wash this stuff, wash your brushes, and you know that it gets up.
Are you using 3/8 or 1/4 inch right now?
This is a.
Looks like 3/8.
3/8.
Yep. 3/8 angle brush.
Little angle brush. They're very handy to use. I mean, I really quite like those. You notice I've got these kind of down at it. They're not cut off. They're kind of cut at an angle in different ways because you don't want it just straight across for your snow. That it wouldn't really fall on your trees like that.
Let me make a comment about does an iPad have a cache? I don't believe it has a cache. What it does is it uses part of your memory.
It
And
fills
so the
up.
way to clear it would be to throw the app away. Do you know how to shut down an app? You know, that's when you double click your home button and all the little pictures show up and then you shoot them off. You got to, that's how you actually close the app.
Do you have an iPad we can show people how to do that with? I can show you guys how to do
My
that right now.
iPad happens to be used right now.
I didn't know how to do that at all. I mean, I've had an iPad for a long time. I had no idea how you got rid of stuff. It just all piled up. It was all very annoying. You know, particularly when you're using that stupid Safari and you've got, looks like you're in somebody's filing drawer looking for the last thing because it was all piling up. And finally, John says, "You don't know how to do that?" I'm going, "No, I don't know how to do that."
We'll try it in the palette camera.
All right, can you see that?
Can you see that? Just shake your heads.
Can you guys see this?
You're going to double click this guy down here.
Double click your button, okay?
Your button there. These are all the apps that are currently running.
Okay.
You just slide them up.
You do that with your iPhone too. Just
iPhone, iPad, they all work the same.
Flick of a wrist and just flick them out.
I got white on me. Get it off. Get it off. Get it off. Hurry. Hurry. All
right, flick it off. All right, so that's how you do it. Isn't that interesting? So I mean, I had no idea. Really, no clue. All right, now I'm going to come back here with my and just do a few little smaller trees back here, very thin ones, just in the background. We're going to phase a lot of these out, something like that. We'll just put a few like this, and then when we do the snow, we'll put some. These will kind of be in the distance. Don't need too many here. Just want to suggest some trees that there's more. They're deeper woods. Okay,
we did.
Deeper woods. I came in here, and then I want to come down here, maybe with a little bit dark on this tree. Bring this down a little bit. This one a little bit lower in the snow. Okay, so this one's a little closer to her. Try not to have a tree growing out of somebody's head. Okay, when you're painting this, make sure they're not growing out of the top of someone's head. All right, so now we're going to paint our folks in, our little peoples in, and then we'll add some more white, and it's all going to be fun, right? Good show, huh? Everybody thinking so? Having fun? Any questions?
Yes and yes.
Yes and yes.
Is
Any
Sammy
questions?
going to have a tutorial? Sammy will have a tutorial.
Yeah. Well, I think those are things that.
The bear will do it.
It's interesting. The people that know that stuff, just assume we all know it.
Yes,
and
we
do.
We
don't all know it. I mean, everybody got an iPhone because they seem like some sort of fancy phone, and then they're going, All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just as a little cad red medium, I'm just going to go ahead. And the first layer on her little outfit here is red.
Oh, it's come up that Amazon Fire Stick doesn't work with YouTube right now. I believe you can use their browser. The bear and I are going to be looking at that too. We've got our setup to check that out.
Well, it's just always something, isn't it?
Isn't it?
They don't understand that it takes us a long time. Takes us a really long time to figure out how to use all this tech, and they start screwing around with us, and it's very upsetting. I don't like it when they change things, personally. Okay, I'm going to leave a little space for her hat where her hair goes, okay? But I'm putting her hat on here. And I won't put the top on because I need to lighten it up around her head. This is just sort of, I'm just putting her hat in and her leggings. Okay, that's putting her hat in. When I was a kid, people always like these stories when Ginger was a kid. When I was a kid, we used to live in Bellevue, Washington, and we had to walk to the bus, not that far, but down the driveway, which we had a big long driveway, and then down to the bottom of the hill, long enough to get wet in the rain or the snow. Okay, and the bus would come. There was no covered bus stop or anything. Nothing that luxurious. And one of the things that was sort of neat. This was in junior high, and one of the things that was kind of neat was that we would kind of make some purple and red here and make some sort of dark color like that. A little purple, red, maybe a little ultramarine blue. This is going to just do some dark hair. If you had dark brown, that would be good, but it's going to kind of show up here under her hair is dark, and then come over here like that, maybe off her shoulder, okay? Just a little bit of hair coming off her shoulder, and then I want an ultramarine blue for her skirt. Okay, so anyway, when we were kids, so we would see all these kids, the guys from, I remember being in 7th and 8th grade, and the bigger kids would come back with great things that they'd made in shop, and girls didn't take shop. Just the boys took it, and they made all kinds of neat things. And I was thinking that was just such a gyp that I didn't understand why girls there, you know, you had a few electives and you had to take
You guys had to take home ec.
we had to take home ec, and you know, which was fine, you know.
How to sew and cook.
And sew and cook, but which was, you know, not that great. And then, okay, so I'm going to do a little purple and cad red medium for like a little dark brown for the boots.
Hey, we'd like to thank Nancy for the donation.
Thank you, Nancy.
Really appreciate that.
Appreciate that.
Let me go check the PayPal guys again.
So here's what we're doing here. Remember, when you're doing the feet, to sort of, you know, get those angles in, make sure that you've got the boots up high enough. And if you're having trouble with the feet, you know, you can add a little snow. Snow's a good hidey thing, okay? So as long as I'm doing that. Now, I'm going to put, I need a dark brown. He had a dark brown jacket, so we're going to do that. Same color as the trees. We're going to make a dark brown jacket, sort of purple and cad red medium. I'm going to make this jacket sort of darker brown, a little more purple to it. And if you had burnt umber, that wouldn't be the wrong thing to use either. But since we don't have any burnt umber, we're doing this. And it wouldn't have to be this color too. You could make him a green jacket. That'd be pretty too. Green would be nice. You know, I tend to see it. The thing about, you know, I had a photo that I used as a reference, one of these paint my photo deals, and I had it as a reference. And the thing about it is that you can't really, they don't like you to show them too much on, you know, when you're doing the video. I mean, you kind of can, but you can't. They kind of changed the rules on us, so we just don't. But there's a tendency when you're looking at a color photo to do whatever's in the photo. I mean, it's just kind of human nature. All right, so this is brown, and then these pants are brown. So anyway, I went ahead when I was in 9th grade, I went ahead and took shop, and no one had ever asked to take it. But I took it. It was really funny. It was before Women's Lib or anything. I wanted to make all that stuff that those guys had.
We had good stuff.
Actually, I think I want those to be blue
We'd
jeans.
like to thank Carolina and John for their donations as well, coming through the PayPal system. For the warm picture, which Ginger has not seen, they're asking, what would you do with the snow? I personally would probably tin it, but Ginger...
Can you print it out?
Well, we can certainly try that.
Print it out, John, because I'd like to see what you're doing.
Yep.
I mean, before you
I would like to see what I'm doing half the time, too.
I'd like to see it. All right, so I've got this dark brown here for the boots that are coming back this way.
That up. Print it out, everybody. No.
Let's just put these boots back here. His foot's kind of going this way. You don't really see it.
So I'm not paying attention to the show. You're on your own.
All right, so John's going to print that out for a minute, and I'm putting in boots, okay, on the peeps here. Just putting in some dark little areas here for boots.
Somebody said, thank you for mentioning my cat. I love you. I don't remember when that was. But
yeah. Well, yeah, it was so clever. It was absolutely so clever. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that we're talking about when you guys get good ideas. And what about Ivy with that? She's wanted to paint the strawberry. She sent me a picture in for personal art coaching of this strawberry. And then she added this darling mouse eating it. It was adorable. I mean, I think Ivy could be a book illustrator. You know, that's the kind of thing. You can come up with that kind of stuff, you know, in your children's books, stuff like that. Great illustrator. All right, let's take a little bit of ultramarine blue now and a little bit of white, just kind of almost pure color here. And let's go up and lighten up this jacket up here. If we just do pure ultramarine blue and white, that should show up pretty much here with our guy, with our taller boy here. Put that over here. And I'm going to do a little bit of a darker blue up here around his
well, somebody
collar.
asked about the background.
Well, you wanted to know about the background,
no, not
right?
you. Our background, our blanket.
Oh, okay. So what's behind us is, again, if you were new, you just came. Let me just show you. John, can you go up to my face again?
One moment, please. Let me enlarge you.
Okay. We found this company, and it was a Groupon thing, which was, for those of you
I think it's called Printer Picks.
Printer Picks or something. Groupon is this like discount company that sends you deals through your email, and you look and see if it's anything you want to do. And you know, usually it's restaurants and stuff, but particularly they had this company that was offering half price on printing these giant blankets, and so you could just like your family photos. And so we took the really strong digital files of a lot of our artwork and put it on 2 different blankets, And this one, I'm going to back out. I mean, here, this is our some of our Wave and Water Masterclass pictures. Can you guys? Isn't that cool? John's gonna zoom in for you and let you see it. This is a really. I thought this was so cool. This is a giant blanket. How big is this? 100 by something.
I think it's a 96 by 60.
And I thought this, and it's very soft. I mean, we didn't iron or anything. We just took it out of the package today and hung it up. We probably should iron it. Something, if we're going to use it as a backdrop. But we just thought it was pretty. And it was a kind of a neat idea, don't you think? Can you guys see it?
Yeah, they saw it.
Yeah, okay, so you put it back to me, and we're going to go sit back down here and finish our peoples. Our peoples, yeah?
Yes,
finish our, yes and yes, finish our peoples. All right, so anyway, we thought that was kind of cool. And we got one, we did that one, and we did another one a little slightly smaller with all our books and, some of our kitchen series, the darker colors.
It was a vertical. Same size, but it was a vertical.
And we'll show you that too. We'll show you that some video too. All right, so back down to our guy. I've just done one coat of the blue. I'm going to mix a little yellow and phthalo blue and make kind of a bright green. And say, here's this. Whisper. That's it. Get the terminology, baby.
Well, you're not whispering. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I'm not hearing a lot of whispering.
Well,
I'm hearing a lot of commands.
Well,
oh, look at that. Donation came in while I was gone.
Here. We're still working out the details, right?
Isabella, thank you very much for your donation.
All right, here's some green. I'm making the mittens a little brighter than I did in my original. I think it's kind of cute if they kind of show up. They didn't really show. I'm going to make this hat a little brighter too. Just a little dark here. Let's make a little brighter hat here. Okay. And all right, so we started out with that.
So back when you were in shop class, was that woodworking or metalwork?
Well,
what'd you get to do?
It was the boys were making kind of gear shift knobs and all kinds of weird things, and I figured I talked my girlfriend into going. My next door neighbor, Kathy Plasek, and that was funny too because her father's name really was Kathy Plasek. Her name was Plasek, S-E-X, Plasek. Anyway, that was their name, and
I would really change my name.
Yeah, and the joke was that somebody came to her dad's company and said, "Do you have a Plasek here?" And he says, "Are you kidding? We don't even have a coffee break, just something. I don't know.
This is a family show,
Yeah, I remember that. That was just, the joke around. It was tough for her. But anyways, I talked her into taking the shop class with me. And we made, on the lathes, we made wooden cutting salad bowls and little bowls to go with it. It was really fun. And we made, I made jewelry with, and jewelry and horse reins and cutting boards. And I made a darling cutting board for my mother.
So you were primarily working in wood?
Yeah, I know, but I also did this plastic. Where you take the plastic
and I made
plexiglass, and I drilled holes in it and added dye, and then we heated it and turned it into interesting pendants and jewelry. And then they had this cloisonne stuff where you could put the powder on the metal and then bake it, and it kind of all melted and did different stuff.
Hey, we'd like to thank Marty for the donation. Have to go. Great lesson, Ginger. I'll watch it later. Thank you.
Thank you, Marty. Appreciate it.
And Susan made a donation. Thank you, Ginger and John.
Thank you, guys. Very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so now I think we're at the point where we can do some highlights, and we need a little shading here on the take a little naphtha crimson, tiny bit of ultramarine blue. That makes a nice dark red. Did you guys know that? Naphtha crimson and ultramarine blue, and we want a dark shadow red here on this side of her coat. Do you see that? And maybe right here under her collar, like that, and maybe on one side of her hat, like this. That's how you. That's one of the ways you can shade red. Okay, like when you're talking about flowers. How do I get a dark shadow color on a flower? And then Cad Red Medium is actually your brighter red. That's if you want to have something really nice and bright. That's your Cad Red Medium. Use the back of the brush here and just kind of melt that in there.
I'd like to thank Patricia for her donation that just came in through the PayPal system.
Oh, Tricia, thank you so much. It's really awesome. All right, now you saw where we did a couple little bands of just kind of, remember this not straight across, we're circling, just like that paint tube I showed you in the drawing. We're kind of bringing that around. Here's some red, like red and green are complements. So we're saying the red on the bottom of this kid's hat. And let's see, let's make some ultramarine blue and phthalo blue. Let's make kind of melt those two blues together. And let's make some dark blue jeans here on this kid. Because we already have a blue background, but let's just give that another coat of that. And then let's do the same thing over here. Let's give him those colors too. This is dried enough where I can darken these. Okay, don't want to talk about those too much. And
Hey, would you like to talk about what audiobooks you like?
oh yeah.
That came up.
Oh, what audiobooks I like. Oh yeah. I'm really a sci-fi person. I really like science fiction fantasy books, and I like things that are like 20 hours long because I'm going to get an audiobook. I really want to listen to it forever. I really like those books, and one of my favorite, books is audiobooks is the Lives of Locke Lamero. There's 3 books in that series. I love that series. Something a lot of people wouldn't even know about. All right, so we're going to take a little light here, and let's see, I'll bring you some other colors, other titles. It's sort of like, not everybody has the same taste in books, so I understand if you wouldn't like it. I mean, I just thought those were great. Let's see, I need this a little lighter, a little bit of purple. I want something light up here around his collar, his coat, up here like this, like indicating some fur coming up here like this.
How many cookies do you classify in this lesson?
About a 2 cookie because you're tracing it on. This is pretty easy, you guys.
2 cookies, people, not a 3.
You're tracing it on, okay? And let's take, you really are. And just, it's all about brush direction. Let's just put a little bit of white here for the, coming around the back of that foot here.
Dawn would like to know, if you only own an iPad, would I be able to navigate and watch the videos on your academy?
Sure.
Absolutely, because we all have iPads.
Yeah, John made it. We own
Everything.
Kindles. We own everything there is. You realize the expense it takes to do that? And John makes sure that our stuff plays on every device. Really.
And that way, when you guys have questions, the Tech Bear can do a video to show you what to do.
Absolutely. He can do a video and absolutely answer all kinds of questions. All right, so we want that. Let's see, I'm going to give it another. Red's one of those wonderful colors where if you do 2 coats, it's a happy camper. So we're going to do a second coat of naphtha red on the leggings, like that. We'll just give a second coat on those. Maybe a little bit of red here on the coat where I don't want it so bright. Okay, like that. There it goes on there. So that's kind of there. That's kind of cool. Now, in order for things, remember, wherever there's a light, there's a dark. Now, you see how she doesn't show up as well as this one, right? Because there's not a lot of light snow around her. The snow's all blue. So what we have to do now, before we add the touch-ups to the kids and we add some more shading, we need some more shading in here. So let's take some white and a little phthalo blue, okay? But mostly white, like mostly white. Tiny bit of cad red with it to gray it, just slightly. But we want this mostly white. Can you see what I'm doing? Now we want to come in here like this, and do you see how I'm just sort of scribbling on the snow?
This is a great comment from Patty.
Yeah?
I have to go watch the Tech Bear daily, I think because computers don't like me.
Well, I'm so glad that John does this. We just do this because I think that computers are a challenge. Here we go. We're going to come around our people here.
Yeah, if you do a search for the Tech Bear, you'll see Sammy's picture.
See how I'm starting to scribble stuff up here and then just kind of over the, just a little bit of scribbling up here. And I don't want to talk too much about this. And then I'll be a little bit more careful when I kind of paint around our kids. But now look how the kids are showing up because I got a little bit lighter, see? So this is like your second coat of color, right? It doesn't have to be too perfect. You just have to sort of get it here. If you can overpaint something like this, what one of my teachers used to call overworking it. So this is what I would call very loose painting.
Does Ginger know Susan Verlin? The Boating Party book is just great.
I haven't, but listen, anybody wants to use the contact us and give me a list of the books they like. We were talking to a gal the other day who grew up in Poland, and she gave me
where
this.
She was born and everything. She lives there.
Yeah, she lives there. Well, anyway, we were talking to her the other day. She was in Texas, and we were talking to her, and she was saying that there was some Polish author. Then she said, "Have you ever heard of this person?" Never heard of this person. She said, "Oh, you've got to get his books, okay? You're going to love him." And he's all kinds of books that have been translated from Polish into English and German, okay? And in a million years, I never would have heard of this guy. So I went ahead and got the audiobook. I'm listening to the first one. The jury's still out. You know, it's a little dark. But it's not bad. I'll let you know if I like it. I don't want to prejudge it too much, okay? Now, I want a little purple here and white, and then I want to put the bottom of the sole here, right here. Just barely touch it. Do like that on the bottom. Show his foot's up like that. Just barely touch it like that. And kind of his foot's up in the air, okay? And I want a little bit of white right here on the edge of his coat, like that. And a little bit of white fur in his on his collar. Okay, on his coat. Still working on our guys here. Now back into the white. Now pure white. Okay, doop, 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 doop. Like the sound effects. Doop. Just 1, 2, stop, because that's lighter. Okay. And now, before I put his top, well, I guess we can put the top notch in. I want to get closer to his head like this. I know some of you are going to try to make this really perfect. It doesn't have to be that perfect. Here's the little line on the collar like this. There were some stripes on this collar. You see, I'll squeeze the brush really tight to reshape it. Then I'll put paint kind of flat on one side, and I'm just going to do, there's his collar coming up like this. And probably don't want that outline right there, so we'll make that blue. Okay, so there's his collar. Now I'm going to wipe the brush off and then just come up here like this, put a little paint, wipe it off, and then just give him a little bit of some highlights on this coat. Don't want to talk about it too much, but right next to this, we want a little highlight here, and then maybe kind of like this. Put a little paint on, wipe it off. Oh, I want something darker. Let's get some shadows going here. I want this a little darker right next to this arm. And then down in here, okay? And let's make sure we've got a good shoulder here, out here on the edge. Here's our little collar coming up. Back here like this, kind of tucked up here. And let's see, where else? Oh yeah, a little bit of purple. Really want like a dark line right here, okay? Kind of, it differentiates the back of that jacket. And then I'll come here with a little light line like that. And a little bit of a light line on the top of his boots. And let's put a little snow on his boots back here. There, something like that. Same thing on hers. There, okay. So, now, here's the trick. You're going, there's tricks? Yeah, tricks. Here's the trick. Let's put a little bit of white between this little head and here, like that, between these two guys. Okay, let's kind of separate out the heads. And make sure that I've got enough snow around where you can kind of see them. This is just sort of a fun picture. It doesn't have to be too perfect. We're not doing too perfect. We're going to come up here like this and say, here's a little top notch on this hat, like here on the top. And she's got one up here too on the top of hers, like that. Here's her little top notch on her hat. Let's give it another coat of red stripes on here with some blue in between. How about that? Okay. Let's bring the collar around. All right, so now what? Okay. So you guys ready for the piece de resistance here? Pièce de résistance, okay?
Somebody wants to know if we answer questions at the end.
We're going to answer questions. Yeah, would you like us to
try to
answer
do-
questions? If you have them, we'll answer some. Sure.
We kind of do them as we're going along. Because
We'll
at
try
the
to
end,
do
we'll
'em.
never find them all.
Yeah, but you know, if you have a question that hasn't been answered, answer it again. That's okay. You can ask it again.
Because sometimes the chat goes flying by.
Yeah, it happens, and we're not trying to avoid answering questions. Let's get this. Look what the Cad Red Medium did, lightening up those, kind of brightening up those legs a little bit, her leggings. Now, here's what you do with the toothbrush. You guys ever use that, the toothbrush?
Yes, I use it on my teeth.
Yes, you do. I've noticed that. Okay, so kind of wet it, kind of swish it around, kind of wet it again, kind of tap it off on a towel like this, kind of squish it around, move everything out of the way you don't want sprayed. Okay, good plan, right? Oh, this was the one you printed out, huh? Where you did it what? You've got some what? Some sun in here somewhere, right?
Yeah, I warmed it.
Well, I like that. Before we use the toothbrush, let's do that. You guys, if you don't want to do it, let's not. But let's warm it up a bit. Want to?
I do.
All right.
I want to see how you're going to do it.
All right. So I'm going to take a little bit of cad red medium and a little bit of yellow, and let's get a brighter. Let's get some more reddish brown on the trees here. We'll start with that. You know, just a little bit. Dry brush that on. Kind of warm up some of these trees a bit. That's pretty. We can do that. Not all of them, just some of them that are showing up. Okay, that's good. Okay, and then let's see what else could we do. Well, what you did kind of, John, what you sort of did was you did a here's some raw umber, which I do know where it is. Assuming I can open it. I didn't put a cap on it, but I'll poke something in it. You know what I want is one of those pokey things we did with the we found that Sharon Poof found, those ones that stirred coffee from a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay, here's some raw umber. So raw umber is not burnt umber. It's a translucent color. It's very transparent. Okay, so we're going to take a little raw umber and yellow oxide, and we're going to a lot of water, and we're going to just do that over some of this. Just kind of glaze over some of the snow a bit. See what we're doing?
So you would glaze it, like I was saying. That's how I would do it.
You're just going to glaze over it and kind of warm it up. Now, this is how you do that. Now, you guys, if you don't want to do it, then don't do it to this piece, right? You're just going to kind of come over here like this. Lots of water. And kind of do this to be something like this. Then kind of glaze it over because it looks, you're sure it doesn't look like a giant dog went mad, right?
Oh, remember the big red Clifford? The big red dog?
Yeah, okay. I'm just saying. All right, so now I might take a little more white now, right? And come up here, let's see, actually pure white. Here, just a little bit of white up here and add some white up into here, maybe with a little bit of that color in it. Maybe a little bit of white and that color now. So bright, there's your glaze, okay? And then here's my beige color with a little raw umber to it and the white. And you might do that. So it's got sort of a combination of, do you see that, of light and darks. It's not just...
It's not all one tone.
It's not all one tone, so that's a little bit trickier in that sense. Like, and also acrylics dry darker. So if you look at this in your picture right next to mine, okay, then we got to lighten up some of the snow in here a little bit. Even down here by the kids, we got to lighten some stuff up.
Now your blue, your snow started off a little blue, a little on the cool side.
Yeah, start off a little on the cool side. I'm going to kind of push that tree back. So that's kind of how I mean, that's sort of how I would blow, sort of change this. And I would just, again, wherever there's a light, there's a dark. So if you want a little bit of raw umber with that, but you want a little bit of light around the kid, and then they show up a little better, okay? Something like this, okay? But again, it's not solid. The thing of it is it's little brush strokes that have got other brush strokes. Like, for instance, I'm going to put a little ultramarine back. See, if you got too much white, put a little ultramarine black. You don't want to go too crazy with this. Here's a little ultramarine, look, a little bit of ultramarine blue, kind of dark in here, like a little shadow, okay? And under here, like that. See what I just did? Add a little shadow. Is that fun? So, all right. So then, I mean, I see that, and then here's a little shadow on the back of this. Right here, a little bit of light here. Okay, so that's kind of, let's see.
I like that.
Yeah, I kind of like it too. And I want to just different, this collar bugs me right here. It's gotta get my little collar up here. Okay, so now what you want to do then with the toothbrush, which was, we got to wet it again, okay? Here's the secret. You want to do in a toothbrush, you wet it, kind of do something like this, and then cover up this, but don't make a straight line. Make it kind of uneven. And then hold it down. Do you see? Hold it down. Let me just show you this way with your thumb, because you're going to rake your thumb across it very fast. And you're going to just sort of push those trees back a little. Okay? Here, we just put a little bit over the kids, just a touch over them.
Ooh, it's snowing on
Not
them.
too much, it's snowing a little bit on them, right? A little bit down here on the ground. And anywhere that you kind of messed up the kids, add a little more snow too. That's good too. You know, you didn't like how you did the kids in a couple places, add some more snow, right? And if you got too much snow, you know what I mean, then you can just erase some snow, right? Like that. You could say, well, I need more kid here. Here's my top and my hat. Okay, here's my hat, and I just have less, I'll have less snow on it, okay? Something like that. So anyway, that's basically how you paint something like this. So we'll come back up here with a little more bright red, like that. And again, there's your kids in the snow, okay?
They're
And
having
I
fun.
think that they're having fun in the snow. I think I almost want a little more snow up here in these trees, here at the top, right, like that. There you go. Kids on a snowy woods day, and I think we got a little too much on her hat. So let's just, you know, unsnow some stuff.
Unsnow some stuff.
Isn't that good? Let's just do the magic wand and unsnow some stuff. Okay? So there you go, you guys. That's our picture for here. I think that came out pretty well. You see, John's got that one a little bit warmer with some stuff, but they're very similar actually when you do the romper, aren't they?
Yes.
Very similar, okay? So that's how we painted. What happened here? Oh, okay. All right. So, let's feel like something spits. How did I do that? How did I even do that? You even know?
Do you want me to play back the audio, the video here?
No, I just don't know how I did it. Something smeared, I think, when I was going over it. Okay. All right. Fixed it.
Yeah, it's one of those paintings you can play with for days.
Well, it is, isn't it? It's just one of those things you can just come back and... Here, let's just... All right. Got it. Got a little smudge, but again, everything's fixable. You know, there's no, you know, it's not written in snow. It's gonna.
Not written.
It's okay. It's not written in snow. All right. So that's our thing here. That's what we're going to be doing
here.
Now, listen. Speaking of snow, I want to just talk about some old videos we have on our website. We have over 350 videos in our video lesson library for you guys that are members, and if you want to again think about joining. If you like this, look at Brandy's puppy. Wouldn't this be a cute puppy to add somewhere, a little small version of this to this picture, okay? And that's one of our, you know, lessons on the little 6x8 lesson on painting a dog in snow, okay? Kind of fun, yeah? And that's on our website, gingercooklive.gallery. And remember, you can try us for a week for just $9.95. And I hate to put a commercial in here, but we're going to do it anyway. I don't hate it that much. And because why not? I mean, this is we've spent hours and hours and thousands of hours creating what we consider the finest art academy anywhere in the world. We really believe that because we take you step by step from never having painted anything, and we right up to the advanced stuff, and personal art coaching on the way, and it's pretty cool. All right,
well, you can get it.
So we're going to be giving away something tonight. Let me get out my tub of towels and clean my hands here before I show you the next thing.
Commercial for tub of towels.
No, they don't pay me to say this, but you guys, you know, I love these, and so everybody says, "Well, what's she using?" You know, well, this is what I'm using. And
put it over the painting. Just hold it over the painting for a second.
This is what I use, and the reason I like them is there's a lot of different things over the years that clean your hands, but this does it fast and easy. And I have a bottle I have a tub of these in the bathroom for when I get out of the shower, and I look around and see what I've missed. You know, usually somewhere right here on the elbow, I've missed it. And I get it off the watch. It comes off the tables. It comes off
somebody
everything.
asked about the watch. Is there something about that watch? Because that's the only watch you ever wear.
Cinnamon gave me this watch.
So there you go.
I got it for Christmas, and the reason I wear this watch is because I used to go through watches every year because I mean they couldn't handle the abuse, and this one really does.
Takes a licking and painting and keeps on ticking.
Really, and it's pretty. It's a Betsy Johnson, and it's they're really pretty. I saw them on Amazon. They're really nice. Anyway, Cinnamon, my daughter gave that to me for Christmas, and you see it cleans off with the metal band. Here's a little something. It'll clean right off, right?
With a tub of towels.
With the tubby towel thing. You see, look, see, all gone, and this will still clean something else. So, all right, so put those away, and now we'll get this out of the way. I hope you guys had fun with this. Remember, I'm going to do another little 10-minute painting here that we're going to give away. This is going to be tomorrow's lesson.
Lemons.
Tomorrow afternoon, the lemon tree. So, 3 lemons in a tree. Isn't that pretty? That's kind of nice. Kind of reminds you of happier times, of better weather, right? Now that we're going to get out of the
with
snow.
All the snow,
we
thought we'd give you a sight of spring.
So, all right. So I think we're going to kind of do one of the other things I wanted to mention. Somebody asked about these 6x8 canvases, why we do that so often. This is a little 6x8 lesson. It's on YouTube. This was done by Van Gogh originally, and it's I don't know, some sort of probably chives or something, that he had in a
Looks
pot.
like lemongrass.
So whatever it is, whatever it was, and with the wallpaper, it's pretty. But if you like this kind of thing, we've got some darling, really awesome videos on YouTube. And speaking of videos on YouTube, remember I talked about earlier today, we talked about things that were snowy. Well, look, here's a video on YouTube that's all about snow, a little different than one we just did, but that's a YouTube video you could go back and find. Here's one that we did earlier this fall. Kind of an interesting fall scene with water and some trees. Very simple, one cookie lesson. This is one of my favorites. This is on our website. This is an old village going in, a European village in snow. And you just notice that the snow's all these different colors. And then the last one is, this is one we're going to actually be adding to our repertoire on our website. We did this on a Raz video on YouTube. You just watched me paint it with this couple in the snow. But again, I think we're going to probably do a release of that one later in the month in March for our people on our academy. And then finally, this is the wave and water lesson for February, and this is what I'm talking about. These buildings back here are not the subject, so they're farther away and very obscure. You don't want a lot of details because you want to talk about what we're talking about is the tables and chairs, and the waves up here. That's your center of interest. And I really think this is one of our really beautiful wave and water videos.
That was absolutely gorgeous big.
Absolutely gorgeous and very, very pretty big. So anyway, if you're not a member of the wave and water class, that might be something you might want to add. You might love that because that's a separate wave and water master class, and it's like the pictures behind us. We add different ones every month. So that being said, let's start with our 10-minute giveaway. How do we do that?
Tomorrow's lesson's at 2:30 p.m. Central.
Where's you got me something to paint on here?
I do.
Do you?
Your whisper is my command, my queen.
Oh, good. I need something to paint on, John. Need something to paint on. Hey, dude. I don't know. I'm just thinking. I don't know. I'm not good. Let me see. Well, see, this is what we do with our leftover paint at the end of a session. John will paint them. This green one?
Oh, look at that. Not for that painting, but that's a great.
That's pretty though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, look at this one with all the snow. Look at that. Isn't that a great snow thing? It's just some little snow thing. And incidentally, those of you who have been won some in the past and have not gotten yours yet, they will be mailed out this week. Probably tomorrow. We'll be mailing things out.
Tomorrow, the next day.
Well, let's do this red one.
How
about that? We'll do a red one. All right. Let me just move this. Again, this was a video on, I think this was one of our YouTube videos, basic tree instruction. Wasn't it, John? Or maybe this was on our website, right? Basic tree instruction.
That's on the basic tree lesson,
This is a basic tree. Well, I think we had one on YouTube, too, on this. Basic trees.
You think?
Okay, I think we did.
So
what you got to keep in mind when we're doing this, so if you want to win this original painting from me, John is going to put up a form you can fill out. It's just for our live viewers. As opposed to
no zombies, please.
No zombies, please. It's just for the people watching the live show. And those of you who hung in there with us, we thank you very much. And you're going to put out the what for them so they can see what to do,
I'm going
to
put the link up, and the girls I think have got it. They're supposed to have it. How many cookies is the lesson tomorrow?
I think that's just this one. This is really pretty simple. Don't you think it's a one cookie lesson? This can't be that hard, you guys. Right?
I think maybe 1.5 cookies.
1.5 cookies, because, look at that. There's 3 lemons and a few little flowers and a few little leaves. I mean, how tricky is that? Really, it's a good one for greens, though, isn't it?
It's a great
Look
green
at
lesson.
look at these blue greens, as opposed to, say, these army greens. Say in this picture, see the difference in the greens? I mean, learning to kind of tell the difference in greens. That's a good one. So, all right, so we're going to start something like this. Here's our picture, and we'll paint and chat as we go along. Since we have questions at the end, are there questions people would like answered, John?
There may be. First thing you have to know is the secret word for tonight is snow.
All right.
The link is at the bottom there. The secret word is snow. Let's put that in there for you. S-N-O-W. Snow. And let's see if we have any questions going by. Can't see the tree. No, you can't see the tree because I'm trying to turn off the other little doobie over there and I can't find them. So one moment, please.
Sorry, can they see the tree yet?
They can now slide the tree over next to your red a little bit. No, yours is fine. Are you basing it off that guy there?
Yeah, kind of basing it off of this, right?
Okay.
Kind of basing it off of this, right?
All right. That's
Just
what we want to see.
Just sort of basing it off of this, right? We're going to get some tree roots. You know, if you've got tree roots coming towards you, they can't come straight down, obviously. So you got to kind of zigzag them around, right? Like that. Pinch the brush to reshape it. Okay, like that. And just going to say here's some tree roots coming down in here like this. It's an old tree coming up like this.
Lemons are going to be a cookie and a half tomorrow.
But I have confidence in you guys. You guys are going to be practicing your ovals, your lemons, you know. Maybe you want to just look at a lemon tomorrow before you do it. Just kind of get it in your mind, get the shape in your mind, what a lemon might be.
John, what was the name of Ginger's older YouTube site? We've only had the one, haven't we?
Yeah, you're talking about I think you're talking about our
the Facebook site.
We had a website. I had a website that's older. I think they're talking about that.
Oh, you're talking about that. If you go to gingercookstudios.com,
I can't add anything to that, and that's a
not until I rebuild it.
So John's going to rebuild it when he ever has time. So that's those are some some older paintings I did, and huge ones, and for publishers and so forth. And that's one of the older ones. Okay, so we're going to say
easy peasy lemon squeezy. That could be the title.
Easy peasy lemon. Well, yeah, but who's searching for that really? You think about the titles for you guys, but then someone has to actually.
My link is wrong. Oh, the day's not the 12th. Who typed that in there, Sammy?
I don't know. Are you fooling with these guys again?
That bear.
Well, you got to watch him because he does.
I know we did. I guess we didn't save it. Or we didn't have the right keyboard. I think we didn't have the right keyboard up there. There, it's fixed. Thank you. It's the 19th.
Boy, the month's really gone by, isn't it? I always felt that since my birthday was on the 1st of February, I always feel like I'm like queen of the month. You know what I mean? And it's a shame I got a short month to be queen of. You know, it just seems hardly fair, doesn't it?
That's what I'm thinking of, my queen.
Yeah.
Chris would like to know: have you ever had a subject that you painted that would always be popular or always sell? Subject matter that's always sells.
Well, that's an interesting thing. My adopted mother was an artist, okay? And so she felt, and she wasn't wrong on this, okay? It was very hard for me because, I'm like the queen of color, right? That's what you think about. But when you keep your paintings in neutral colors, they go in everybody's house. Does that make sense? So neutral always sells. Colors come and go. Neutral sells. Good contrast and neutral kind of goes in anybody's house kind of thing. And there's subjects that don't sell, and there's colors that don't sell. But one of the ways that you can kind of tell colors, that's a really good question. One of the ways you can kind of tell colors is that if you go to like a Macy's department store or whatever, and you're looking at you're looking at their linens, like their towels and their bedspreads and stuff, those are the colors that are in right now. So, but it changes, and then people are going to be buying paintings they're going to buy artwork. They want fairly large pieces. They're going to buy something for over the sofa, maybe 2 paintings for over the sofa, the dining room, master bedroom. So again, you're looking for subjects that are appealing. Okay, like you'll see a lot of the French street scenes that I have in my website, gingercooklive.gallery. If you were to look over, or rather, gingercookstudios.com. If you look at those street scenes I did years ago, and they were just, I had published and everything. Well, that was the year everybody was mad at France, so people felt it was, I don't know what what a French countryside had to do with anything. The galleries were reluctant because everybody was mad at France. It's too weird, right? That whatever when that was. So yeah, what sells all the time? Neutral colors, neutral stuff sells. And then go to, like, for instance, one of the things you can do is you can go to like a furniture store and see what they're selling. All right, that's the other good thing, is to go see what's out there. Go see what people are doing. Please notice that my brush strokes are all going across on the bottom like this and overlapping.
If you use the link I had on the website there for a while that said February 12th, that would not work. And that
We're
form
sorry.
would
We'll
not
give
even
everybody
let
a
you
chance
enter.
to re-enter.
So go
We
back
did
in.
that.
This is available to everybody in the entire world. Nobody from Mars or Venus this time.
Yeah, but pretty much anywhere you live, we'll mail it to you. Okay, just pretty much if if the post office can get to your house, then you're
it can
like
get to
Flint.
you.
If they can get to you, then wherever you live.
Yeah, we had an Australian win last week.
Yeah, I went out to Australia. Okay, like that.
Going down
and
under.
then also remember this one. Let's see, where'd that other one go? Where did the one go? That you can still enter too for this one, right, from before. That's one that went out to the general public. I think 10 o'clock tonight is the
It's
11?
still 11 p.m.
Still 11 p.m. tonight is the entry on that. So if you haven't entered for this one, you can enter on that one, and we have the link up there. Where's the link on that? That's not that's the
Wendy, I think, had it up there earlier.
Had a link up there earlier for that. Okay. And that was from last week. Because some people were kind of unhappy with us because they said, well, we have to work, or the time zone's weird. We can't always watch live shows. Can you do a couple of these videos where we could actually have a chance at maybe winning something? Okay.
Absolutely.
And so we tried to do that. Sure, we can do
if
that.
you forgot to add the word snow, do not worry about it. Do not enter again. I will take care of you.
All right.
The dog is Chester. The bear is Sammy.
Okay.
Sammy looks like the puppy with a hat on. Sam. You and Chester look alike. How do you enter for the flowers? Wendy, do you have that link for the flowers? The week-long one.
Okay. So again, when you're talking about selling things that to people, it was sort of a funny thing. Cinnamon and I were at Art Expo, big art show in New York some years ago, and I had a booth there, and I was exhibiting my art, and we had a break, so we were wandering around the show looking at stuff, and there was this group of this booth that had abstract art in it. Why don't you think of like a home show that sells like furniture, except only this is just art, okay? Kind of set up the same way. And so anyway, we were looking at that, and it was all kind of, some these abstracts. And the girl that had that was, kind of in charge of the booth, she says, the artist that paints these, he's from New York, and he, everything is, and all the red, he is blood. And of course, that made me just want to come screaming down the aisle and just leave, right? But Cinnamon is talking to him. I love going places with her because she'll start dialogue with anybody about anything, right? So she's talking to them, right? And my question is, well, whose blood was it? I mean, were you murdering animals in the alley? I mean, did you go to whose blood? Was it the artist's blood? I mean, where did you get this blood, right? And she's Cinnamon was telling her about a German artist in history who apparently 100 years ago, who painted with blood and died. He bled himself to death painting with his own blood. I mean, so it's not like it hasn't been done before. It was a dumb idea then. It's still dumb, okay? But again, we're talking about, when you're talking about selling things, we're talking about your audience. Now, the middle class gallery owners that are coming through there aren't anxious to be hanging up paintings like that, and because at Art Expo you're looking for galleries and stuff to take your work, and if they have some public, it's open to the public, but you got to understand who's going to be buying your art, who is your clientele, all right, who are you selling to, and if they had taken those paintings to an Anne Rice seminar, or a book signing or something, and set up a booth near those guys that are watching, reading books like Vampire Lestat, probably would have sold out, don't you think, John? I think they would have sold out.
Yeah, absolutely.
They would have sold out. But the problem was that they were, you got to sell to the right audience, okay? And you got to understand who your audience is and who's going to be buying them. That's the main thing, okay? You notice that everything is in layers. The lighter colors go on top. Anybody else noticing that little trick here?
Is there a certain color that does not sell?
Yeah, I had an agent that her name was Acadriana, and everybody was named Aka something on her planet. And she was a walk-in. She walked into that body in 1990 from, I don't know what happened to Maury that lived there, but Maury apparently left and Acadriana took over. And, she would sit there and, she was really she sold my art everywhere. It just was very handy. But it was always interesting talking to her because she had some very interesting ideas about the planet that we lived on. I remember her telling me one time that, you've got, they can do this now. Them? What them? And there was always these conspiracies going on with her. And they've got mind control for the dogs. Who's got mind control for the dogs? Really? Oh, yes. You didn't know that? I said, no, I didn't know that. And I'm going, you know who that is? She says, yeah, the aliens, they've got mind control for the dogs. Do you think you could get that technology? Because we could make some money. Why are we selling these stupid paintings? We could be rich, you know? We could be rich. How do they do that, right? And, I always take it to kind of the farthest thing. Because obviously she believed it, so I'm going, okay, so if that's true, then what can we do with it, okay? And I remember one time she says, you can't, I was telling her I was going to spend the summer in Colorado, maybe in a mountain cabin or something. You can't go to Colorado. Well, why not? Well, aliens live in Colorado, and I'm thinking, you're talking about illegal aliens crossing the border from South America? She goes, no, those aliens, the other kind, they're all over Colorado. You didn't know that? I hadn't heard. Sorry about you guys in Colorado. You probably didn't know that either. But anyway, that was very funny. But she, remember one time she said, but she was very good at selling art. And the whole up of the story was, she's going, I can't sell pink. I can't sell pink. And I had done this abstract painting.
It had pink in it?
Had pink in it. And I'd spent a lot of time on it. And you understand, I was cranking out art for this lady. In an extraordinary way, all right? I mean, I really was cranking it out. I was 48 by 60 paintings, maybe 3 a week, for 30 by, 30 by 40 was the smallest thing I did. I was putting out artwork like a madwoman and rolling it, taking it off the stretcher bars, rolling it up in a tube and sending it to her, and then she'd sell it, and she'd say, seem happy. I'd go, who bought it? What did they like it? I mean, I never knew anything. It was really very discouraging. I was selling art, but it wasn't satisfying, if that makes sense, right? But anyway, so she had told me she couldn't. I had met her at a hotel down in Houston with my art. We used to meet in Hampton Inns. That's where she always liked to stay. And I had brought my art in there, and she started telling me about how she couldn't sell pink. I remember wadding up the painting and throwing it at her, just going, ah! Because there was always something. It was always something. But in all fairness, back when we were working together, before I just couldn't keep doing the crazy, there was sort of the end to how much crazy you can do. I could do a little of it, but after a while, it even got too much for me. We did very well. She sold art, and she really could sell art. This is kind of our picture. So that's the question: pink oranges. I mean, you got to kind of, again, um, you got to kind of just figure out what your bailiwick is. How's that?
Your bailiwick. I
Yeah.
remember the old bailiwick.
Because it doesn't matter if you don't enjoy painting. It doesn't matter if it would sell well. It's not fun. That's the other thing too. If you're not enjoying painting it, then there's no fun. You start putting when you start selling your art. A lot of times you take all the joy out of Mudville. You know,
it becomes
because
a job
it becomes a job. It becomes pressure. You know, we had one lady write us, and she had done really. She was a really good animal painter, and she was doing these dogs for a woman and portrait of these dogs. And honestly, the lady wrote her a letter, you know, and gave her a list of like 25 things she didn't like about the animals. Well, you know, at that point, you was to tell, you know what, just shuffle off, lady. Go get someone else to paint your dumb dogs, you know? I mean, I'm sorry. Just really 25 things? Quite frankly, you know what I want to say, don't you? Because that takes, again, that takes the joy out of it when people act like that, doesn't it?
Do you know offhand any of your lessons on YouTube that have mist or fog in it?
Have what?
Mist or fog.
Yeah, we have a really good one on how to. There's a really good one on how to take a background and make it disappear. You know, how to mist and fog a background. Really good one on that, and it's yes, we do have one. And exactly what it is, I don't know. Listen, do you see how I'm just adding? I'm putting a few holes in the trees.
Okay, so what is out there? Just have fun looking.
Yes, we do have one of those. Maybe more than one. You know, at this point, you know, we do. And I have. Yes, we do. It's how to take mixing white and mix and oh yeah, and you know the old barn was another good one for that. You know, there was this red barn. That's a good one. And I think that one's in our most humorous videos too. There was not the red barn with the trees. This one was a red barn in a foggy morning. Yeah, we had that.
Mm-hmm. So look in the humorous section playlist.
Yeah, I think it's in the humorous playlist, but it's not. I think there's a couple of barns. It's one of the barns.
One of the Barn Brothers.
One of the Barn Brothers. Yeah, Barn Brothers.
It's the barn without the tractor, mind you.
Yeah. All right. It's one of the barns, but we definitely do have one, and see, this is dried now, so that's kind of working. Isn't that nice? Isn't that kind of fun? There we go. Awesome.
We'll be drawing for the.
Okay, I'm done, John.
Not that one. The lilac one tomorrow.
Tomorrow
show.
Tomorrow's show, we're drawing for that. We'll be drawing for this one tonight. So if you haven't entered to get to win the lilac, you want to
tonight.
You know, feel free to do that. I want the fine point one. Where's that one? Here.
Deborah's asking, I got a message from Michelle stating I need to answer all 3 questions for the Facebook. Is this a gentleman? Yes, it is. And she says, I did answer all 3 questions. Sometimes they do not come through, Deborah. Please do it again if you would like to get into our Facebook group. Thank you.
Okay. All right, there's our picture for today. And, okay.
Do you have to be there for the lemon? No, you do not.
Oh, incidentally, cats don't sell well. Pictures of cats.
Oh, cats.
Cats.
Well, unless it's their own cat.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Somebody was asking what sells well, right?
Right.
And what I would tell you about cats is that when you're picking out a painting for your house, unless you're living by yourself, you've got this other person living with you that has opinions about the art you hang on the wall. Chances are you don't have autonomy. Most people have a budget of over a certain amount of money they can spend by themselves, and then they've got to consult the other person. So the best place to have a gallery, the best place to be in an art gallery, this is priceless information, you guys. I'm so glad you heard this because this is priceless, is to be in a resort area, because that's when husbands and wives are on vacation or significant others, and they're going to buy that painting together. And cats are a hard sell. Wife's going, oh, look at the kitties, we can hang these up. And the husband's going, no, I don't think so. You know, and then she's going, well, and then someone else goes, oh, you know, we could hang up spark plugs. Wife's going, I don't think so. You know, so it's got to be something that both the couple likes together. Cats are not one of it. And again, horses are fine if the people are horsey, but even in Texas, horses are a hard sell. Sort of, that kind of stuff. Abstracts, believe it or not, sell very well because they don't say anything as long as the colors go. People will just buy something that matches the sofa. There. So people ask what sells well. Abstracts sell. Red and black abstracts seem to sell very well. At least they did.
What do you believe is the best subject object to paint on? Traditional canvas, canvas without stretchers, a painting notepad, book like from the Canson people, or what really I always find hard to paint?
Well, I like canvas. I like stretch canvas. I personally prefer to stretch canvas. These little canvas pads, we do these because, one, you're learning how to paint. And so you don't need to spend thousands of dollars on a giant 16 by 20 painting to figure out how to do something. So we do a lot of lessons small like this because they're easy to paint on and you can learn, then paint something big, okay? And obviously stretch canvas, and if you're selling and you've got a little bit of a budget, it doesn't hurt to paint on linen. And the reason I say this, it sounds very nice, very classy. Acrylic on linen sounds a little more classier than acrylic on canvas. Not that linen's that much better to paint on, though it is very nice to paint on. It's a very nice surface. It just sounds good when you're trying to, you're in a gallery with everybody else and they're debating between two people, but yours is on linen. Sounds a little better, doesn't it?
Sounds classier.
Sounds classier.
All right. Well, I think you've got that painting done.
All right, let's get a drawing here going for it. I like it.
We've got a drawing going for it. We're going to close the door. We have 333 entries.
Okay, all right, you guys. This is kind of exciting. So let's see who we got here.
You picking, or is my gal friend?
Let's let the Gal Friday pick it. Okay.
Friday it is.
Let's put a little red here.
Snuck in at the closing bell.
All right,
And they did. They always do.
Okay, so Gal Friday is going to pick it, and we'll, this was a good one again. Let's go refresher course on how to do trees.
Alexa, pick a number between 1 and 334.
Your random number between 1 and 334 is 319.
Ooh.
319. Wow.
Spectrum this time.
Wow, she went way up there into the 300s. Very nice. Okay. So 319.
319 is Susan Copeland.
Hey, Susan, you're the winner. Congratulations.
Susan.
I'm going to wash that. Make sure that's washed.
We'll, Susan Copeland.
In fact, Susan, we're going to do something really fun for you. We're going to give you a choice between the purple or the red one.
Oh, no, we're not.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Susan, tell us which one you want, the purple or the red one, and then draw it again, John.
Tree winner.
Susan, you get the choice between purple and the red one. Give us I'm going to do another drawing for the purple, for one of the others, because you guys were so cute to hang in there with us.
So cute.
I'm going to give another number because we did way up in the 300s. I'm going to give number 17. Who's that?
I don't know yet. I have to sit here and watch Susan answer.
Susan's going to tell us if she wants the purple or the red one.
Susan gets first dibsies.
Gets dibsies, and then number 17. You don't know who that is, we're going to send the second one to, okay?
Susan Copeland, are you out there? What color would you like?
Well, find out who 17 is, and they're going to get the other one. You'll be surprised when it comes in the mail, right? So who's 17?
I have to scroll all the way back up because you went to the other end of the spectrum.
I did. I want 17, right? Because I feel like people entered right away, and they're feeling a little screwed here. So let's
It is a Elizabeth Clark.
No way! Sue Clark, how fun!
Elizabeth Clark.
Elizabeth Clark. Sorry, Elizabeth Clark. Hey, Liz, that's fantastic. Oh, how fun. All right, so...
Now, wait. I have to see if Miss Copeland has responded.
Has she told us? Well, Elizabeth...
John, she wants the purple.
She wants the purple. All right, so Liz, you get the red one?
I hope that's right, because I certainly didn't see it go by. I had to leave the screen because she whispered to me. And I had to do what the Queen said.
Well, this is great. All right. What a fun. And I hope you guys, if you're feeling lucky, I'd all go out and get lottery tickets tonight if I were you guys. You guys are feeling lucky here, because our lucky winners here. But all right. So we've got Elizabeth Clark and Susan Copeland. Congratulations, you guys. And thanks everybody else for playing. And again, if you have any questions we didn't answer tonight and you want them answered, you can catch us tomorrow. We'll answer them. Write us, gingercooklive.gallery, and check us out. And hope you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you.
Elizabeth and Susan, please remember to go to contact us and fill out the form to let us know where to mail these to. You're sitting there just smiling.
I
wonder how long I can keep you there. Let's see.
Night. This was fun, wasn't it? Had a fun time. Enjoyed your company. Love you guys. Thanks for
and thanks for not talking so much. You know.
Who?
Our audience, our studio audience. Sometimes they just get chattering so much. Don't you think?
Well, I'm just happy that we have
I'm
happy we have a studio audience that wants to hang in there with us. So we appreciate it. Share the videos, you guys. Share the love.
All right, turning that one off. Turning that one off. You're still on, so behave yourself.
Again, did I want to say subscribe? Did I mention that?
Off. I got to put the YouTube thumbs up. Okay. Night, everybody. See you tomorrow at 2:30.
Bye. Queen's wave.
They can't see you now.
Oh, too bad, because it was a good wave. Ha!
I'm a student, I say with glee, of Ginger Cook's Academy. Take your time and do not rush. Use ruby satin, silver brush. Don't use black and mix the green. Learn what blend and grayscale mean. Yes, I hope each day to earn coaching praises as I learn. I'll be an artist, wait and see. Ginger means the world to me.